Welcome to the podcast of the mind that is the dirt. And this is Dirt, and this is the podcast. So today we're going to be talking about simulators. Are they realistic enough? Do they have that special je ne sais quoi? Do they have that little entity of super extra sharp cheddar cheese that just makes you go, that's perfect, and that could definitely go on top of nachos. So we're going to talk about different simulators and what they could do to make themselves more realistic, and also the big picture of, do they need to be more realistic? Or is it already way too real and the tears are running down my face just because I know that this is a minimum wage job that I'm doing in a simulator when I could be doing something else like laundry? We'll get into all that real soon, but first, it's time for everyone's favorite segment, Old News.
I got nothing new for you.
Today's old news is, get this, we have a new Nintendo device, and it's not a Game Boy. It's a Nintendo DS. Nobody knows what it stands for, but it's going to have not one, but two illuminated screens. It's going to have two screens, and they're both going to be self-illuminated. I know we saw that with the previous Game Boy Advance SP, but this one, oh my goodness, it's not going to be one screen. It's going to be two screens, and they're self-lit. It's amazing where technology is bringing us. You don't need to have a little tiny flashlight pointed at the screen to be able to see it when it's anything other than the brightest day of the year. It's insane. But also, that it doesn't stop there, okay? The bottom screen, because it's going to flip out just like the SP, remember that? And again, no one knows what that stands for. The DS bottom screen is going to be a touch screen, sort of. It's going to require a stylus, just like everyone's PDAs, Those are really catching on, and I'm sure everyone's going to have one in the future. But the bottom screen is going to be that touch sensitive to a stylus type of a screen, so you're going to be able to interact with the game. You're going to be able to poke things. You're going to be able to, you'll see a dog, like there's probably going to be a Nintendogs game, and you're going to be able to poke it, and then it's going to go, ouch, why'd you poke me? That's rude. My back was turned. I'm very vulnerable because I'm trying to find a place to go to the bathroom. So you can do all those great things, and it's going to be for a reasonable price of $149.99 USD. Okay, and I think that's just tremendous. It's going to be a game changer. It's going to be delicious. I'm going to try and eat one. And if it goes well, I'll let you know how that goes in a few years. So look out for the Nintendo DS. Once again, it is not a Game Boy. It seems like it would be, but it's not, okay? It's a different thing. We're getting away from the boy. I think the boy was just like a little too clingy, just like throwing rocks at you when you were just trying to do your art out in the fields. I don't know. The boy is sort of an enigma. You can never really understand what's going on in that brain of his, especially when he's holding his backpack the other way around, where he puts his arms through the loops but backwards, so it looks like he's got a big old belly because it's full of marbles. So yeah, look out for the Nintendo DS, $149.99, coming soon. So I've been playing Fast Food Simulator, thanks to Neebs Gaming. And goodness gracious, I'm a fan. I've put in less than 10 hours so far, but there's something about it that I really gravitate towards. I think the simplicity of the location and what your requirements are, and the very nice, smooth, gradual incline in responsibilities, the increase in the amount of things that you need to worry about. It's pretty spot on. Now, it's early access, so things are going to change, things are going to be added. But I really like that for the time being, you got just the one restaurant, and you serve burgers, and I don't even know if I don't think you start off with ketchup or anything, any condiments, and then you'll eventually get drinks. You can serve drinks, and you can serve ice cream, and you can make fries, and you can have pickles and onions and more pickles and lettuce and more pickles. And there's more condiments and more pickles. You can add, you can do double burgers. I think that's pretty soon, like right away. There's pickles. You can have the drive-through open. There's pickles. You can, and a lot of the responsibilities involves replenishing your materials. So you want to get all of the stuff ordered as soon as you can. And it's a really fast delivery service. My goodness, it's a fast delivery service. I have a sneaking suspicion that this service is sort of waiting on you to order. Like they are just ready to go. And they're just like, all right, Thomas, they ordered more pickles. Throw them into the truck. Oh my goodness, 7 boxes of pickles? Wait a second, those aren't pickles. Pickles don't come in boxes. Pickles come in gigantic mason jars. What are you doing, Thomas? Those are the wrong pickles. Those are cucumbers. And they just probably have no other clients. They have no other customers. It's just you. So they are just like, we cannot lose them. We need to do everything we can to keep them happy, because if we lose them as a client, as a customer, I don't know which one to say. Which one do you think they would say? Would they say a customer? Because when I hear the word customer, I think of someone just popping in real quick, grabbing a thingamabob, and bouncing. They're getting some onion rings and they're leaving. And then when I think of a client, I think of more of a B2B, a business-to-business facing situation, which is what this would be, where you've got, hey, here's my business, and my business involves supporting your business. And it's got all of these words that mean absolutely nothing. Like, oh, we have ultimate integration with cloud-based analytics systems. Like, shut your stupid mouth. That doesn't mean anything. There's no way any of those words in any combination have any type of practical application. Shush. Stop it. Stop pretending that your words have any connection to real life. They be acting like they're saying something when they're saying jack diddly. So I think client makes sense, but on the other hoof, when you say client, you can say it in a different space where if you're going to a salon, that would be considered a client. They don't consider you a customer, because customer, I think, is more of acquiring a physical product. That's my interpretation of a customer. When you say customer, I think this person is coming in to buy something. They're going to get the last box of crunchy Lays. Yes, I said box. The entire box of the crunchy Lays. Wavy Lays, sorry. They are crunchy, but they're called wavy Lays. And they are going to leave with that item. And that's the only reason they came in here. It's not for the customer service necessarily. It's for that exact object, that exact purchasable product. So customer, that wouldn't work in a salon setting because you're there for a service. So they say client. And then you look at the word client in the business setting, and again, it's more of a service. You're providing a service for them. Hey, can you analyze my cloud analytics? Right? So stupid. And that's a service. But at the same time, when we're talking about the fast food joint, and we are replenishing our supplies and saying, hey, can you refill all of the pickles and all of the onions, I guess, but the pickles are the priority, then that is providing a service, yeah, but it's also providing a product. Now, here's where the kicker comes in. I think the fact that they are the delivery service as well, I think that's what makes it more of a client situation, because it really is the service of, hey, you arrange this for me. Like, yeah, I do want the product, but I don't want to have to go through all of the jumps, the hoops, the hurdles to be able to figure out, okay, who do I go to for the frozen beef patties? Who do I go to for the pickles? Who do I go to for the lettuce? Who do I go to for the pickles? We want that to be on your plate. No pun intended. You need to be the one to figure that out for us. And that's where I think the service is the priority. That is the higher on the food chain, again, no pun intended, entity and requirement that makes it more of a client situation and service instead of being considered a customer. So that's where I stand on that. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to really talk that through so I could figure out where I stood on that topic. I don't like being on the fence. I like to be on one side of the fence so I can bark at the dogs on the other side. So as I was saying, it's nice to have this requirement to be like, yeah, I make sure I have enough stock. The unrealistic part is that the speed of the delivery is just bizarre. You put in your order on this cute little TV screen that is connected to a computer, so it's a monitor, not a TV screen. Don't come at me. And then a good, 11 seconds later, the truck pulls up and there's all the stuff. It's great customer service, but it's impossibly fast. So is that unrealistic? Of course it is. So we're going to put that into our list just in the back of our minds just for a bit. But there are some other things that sort of get to me. So when you're prepping everything and you're making these patties, you have to look at a certain percentage on the screen of the top doneness and the bottom doneness. And that tells you, is it done, conveniently enough? And, sorry, I had a whole lot of Sweet Gherkins pickles earlier. And that will tell you if it's going to be a good burger. And if it's overdone, oh goodness, you're going to hear about it from the customers popping in. They're going to be like, ugh, this is black and crusty, and it tastes like coal. I don't know why they're just like, they expect the world out of you. It's like you're a one pig show, and they think that they're going to get a Gordon Ramsay experience where they get yelled at, but they get some decent pasta. I don't know what they expect. So you think like that's a super specific thing that obviously in real life you don't have that percentage indicator, but you do have a meat thermometer. If you wanted, you could tell the exact temperature. But right then and there, you've already skipped a step because you don't need to manually turn on the oven. You don't need to turn on the grill top. You don't need to turn on any of the devices. Obviously, the freezers, you want to keep those on all the time, but you cannot change the temperature. And I feel like that might be a thing to maybe do. And also, this sort of bugs me. You leave the doors open, the front doors, at all times. Even after you turn off the open sign, the doors stay wide open. And I'm like, is this in an area of the world that doesn't exist where there are no such thing as insects? Like, the mosquitoes would be having a field day. They would just be telling all their friends, like, everybody, oh my goodness, you got to get down to this joint. They have free food. The doors are always open. It smells delicious. You can smell the pickles from 4 miles away. I feel like all of the bugs within a 30-mile radius would be there immediately all day. So they leave the doors open. They don't even have a 2-door system, right, where you get the wind. Because, when you open the first door and then you open the second door and it's like, and it just creates a suction effect because of the pressure difference in the air. You know what I'm saying? They don't have that going on. They don't have a revolving door. That would be funny at a fast food restaurant with a revolving door. that might be a little bit safer than trying to open those two doors with that wind going all crazy on the inside of that. When you have a bag or a tray and some drinks, and you're like, I don't want to spill this. If there was a revolving door, did you know that there's automatic revolving doors? Like maybe it's obvious, but it was not obvious to me until I saw one. It was crazy because you had this gigantic revolving door. I think the first one I saw was at IKEA. And it's just the size of 3 revolving doors, but it's only one. And it's just rotating at a nice leisurely pace where you can just pop on in. I don't know, 4 people can fit inside one of the little wedges, one of the little pizza pie cutouts, because it looks like a pie chart from the top where everything is perfectly even. And it's like maybe 5 or 6 different spaces. And it's like, this is the way that the business is distributed in the North American market. And it's like, it's perfect 20% for everything. And it's like, what was the point? Like, Greta, why? Why even put that into a pie chart if everything is the same? The point of a pie chart is to be able to visualize the differences between all of the markets. And if all of the markets are identical, there's no point in having any type of chart. Like maybe just do a bar chart, and then it's like, okay, they're all at the same level. And then do another bar chart that says where we want to be, where it's like, okay, we want the Northeast to be a little higher because they buy more of our cloud-based analytics systems. And it's like, that would be somewhat helpful. But if you got a pie chart or any type of chart, a line chart would be probably the dumbest. But a pie chart it's so great because it's mouth-watering, first of all. And then also it usually has the most colors of anything on the page. If you got the PowerPoint presentation and you see a pie chart, your eyes go immediately to the pie chart. There could be a picture of a donkey jumping off the Empire State Building with a jetpack, and I would not look at that. I would look at the pie chart. I would look immediately at the pie chart, and I would spend a good 15 seconds on the pie chart. My tummy would rumble a little bit, and then I would make my way to looking at the donkey. And that's just the way it is. It's such an underutilization of a pie chart to make sure everything is the exact size and ratio. And when it gets to that point, you can't even really tell, because if there's 6 things on the pie chart, first of all, I think 4 things on a pie chart is starting to push it. 5, that's too many. It's too many. Unless the pie chart is taking up the entire screen and we're able to easily identify all the different wedges, I think it's just too many. So you got 6 things and they're all the same. I don't have a ruler. I don't have a protractor. I can't put that up on the screen and be like, hold on, let me just measure the radians here. What do we have? Okay, so that's 20 degrees and that's 40 degrees. I'm not going to be able to do all that. Are you kidding me? A pie chart should be obvious. It should be so stinking obvious what the differences are. A good pie chart looks like this. Ready? Half of it is cut off, okay? The other half is just one solid color, okay? And it's just like, here's a big old chunk, and it's blue, a bright blue. 50% of the pie chart is just one thing. And it's like, hey, these are the shoes that everyone's buying, all right? Everyone's buying flip-flops 50% of the time. And then on the bottom, you've got something that's around 45, yeah? Like 45 degrees, or 90 degrees, sorry. 90 degrees of the total situation. So we had 180, and now we have 90, and we have another 90 left. We'll get to that. The 190 over there, because it all adds up to 360. So it's gonna get there. We're gonna get there, mathletes. And that one is dedicated to something like dress shoes. And then we have that 90 degrees left. But it's not going to be all of one, because then you would have 2 that are identical that stoop. We don't want to do that. So we're going to split up that 90 into 70 and then 20. And that 20, it sounds like it's still kind of a lot. That is a teeny wedge. You compare that 20 to the 180, it would require so many of the 20s. It would require 9 20s to make up that 180. So you got that little 20 wedge, and that says, these are the shoes that nobody's buying anymore. Okay? No one's buying the gigantic waterproof boots anymore. And then the rest is just miscellaneous in that 70 area, because that encompasses too many to even mention. You got the super tall rain boots, everything goes into that section. The runners, the tennis shoes, that just goes into miscellaneous. And that's a good pie chart, because you're able to quickly identify, boom, we got half of it is just going to the flip-flops. I'm able to see that. And everything between the largest chunk of a pie chart and the smallest chunk of a pie chart, everything in between, no one cares about. No one even looks at it. You don't even need to label it. Everyone needs to see the biggest chunk, the tiniest little sliver. What's that one? What's that one mean? What is it about? So that little sliver tells you, hey, this is the worst, this is the weakest, this one needs our help, and we are its only hope. That's what it's good for. That's the kind of pie chart that is effective. If you took a pie chart of the moving, what is it called? What is that door? Revolving door. Oh, it was so long ago that my brain was like, I think I've talked about this enough. I don't need to remember the name of it. If you took the pie chart of the revolving door at IKEA, it would have been horribly unuseful. Useless. That's the realer word than unuseful. I think unuseful is good though. I'm gonna keep using it. I think it'll be useful to me. I think unuseful will be useful. Next up though, we're gonna take a teeny break and take a listen to today's sponsor. If you're anything like me, then you like hanging around the house wearing nothing but a blanket. But occasionally, someone actually approaches your home or your place of business or your residence, whatever you want to call it, your domicile. And you have to be able to put on clothes really quickly, and that's just the worst. Well, introducing the saving grace to that problem, the wardrobe change blankets. The wardrobe change blankets are an assortment of blankets that have 4 different wardrobe items on them. You have an entire tuxedo. You have a beautiful cowboy's outfit. You have a leotard. And you have a really nice business casual suit. And all of these are on the blankets so that depending on the orientation of the blanket on your body, you will have these different outfits to choose from. And all you need to do is when someone comes a knocking and says, I need to read your meter for your electric and gas power, you can just throw on the blanket, you can twist it around to see which outfit you want to wear, and boom, everyone will be fooled into thinking that you wear clothes and you don't stay in the house with nothing on at all times, like 22 hours out of the day. And that's nice. It's nice to have that security blanket wink. So try out the wardrobe change blankets today or tomorrow, but don't try them out the day after because they don't last very long. We're trying to work on that to make them more durable, but at the moment, yeah, let's just say they're brittle. So try out the security of the wardrobe change blankets. We have 3 different varieties, and we're planning on doing more, but to be honest, I think we ran out of clothes because there's only so many clothes, right? There's shorts, there's khakis, there's capris, and then like what? What else? Nothing. You can't think of anything. Try it. Think of another thing. You can't because there's no more. I think we've run out. So there's only so many ideas. There's only so many clothes out there. What are you gonna do? The demand is there though, and they keep asking, when are you gonna make another wardrobe change blanket option? And it's like, guys, I can't think of any more. I dumped all of my imaginative, creative energy into this, and it's gone. That was the limit. I don't know what else you want from me. It's ridiculous. Get your wardrobe change blankets today or tomorrow, and have a good life. So there are some other simulators that I will play and think to myself, this could be a teeny bit more realistic in certain ways. And I think that all comes down to the fact that when you put the word simulator at the end of a game name, at least I, think there are two potential possibilities. Number one, it could be a joke. It could just be a silly, just a little goof about, like Job Simulator in VR, a PlayStation VR. That was where I first played it. And it's sort of like a job, but it's a little nonsensical and amazing. So it could be like that, where it's kind of a ironic twist to it. Or the other expectation is this is going to be real life. This is going to be as close as you can get to real life without just watching a video of real life. So that's what I think simulators could be. So when I play something like Bus Driver Simulator or Lawn Mowing Simulator, Flight Simulator, I expect it to be pretty darn close to the real thing. Now, when I'm playing Lawn Mowing Simulator, there's some qualms that I have with it, which are potentially tied to realism, but also potentially tied to just the design of the gameplay. So, one of the first things that I thought of when I first played Lawn Mowing Simulator is this grass is always standing straight up. It's just like at attention. It is the textbook marine. Like, wow, that is impressive. The posture on this grass, are you kidding me? And they will all just like blow in the breeze in this beautiful organic wave. It's like they're out in a field in a coming-of-age movie, and it's just, the breeze is so gentle, and we're all just waving around because we are as light as air. And that's not how grass looks. Grass will have a little quiver at the end, but it goes up in all sorts of directions. It's like a mushroom, because mushrooms don't just point one way. They just be going wherever they want. And I think that would have been nice to have some grass like that. And also the grass is like perfect. All of the blades of grass are perfect. I don't see any crabgrass. I don't see any weird spots where it's a little bit brown, where you can tell it's a different variety. I don't know. But the thing that really made me the most irritated comes down to the actual mowing of the lawn. Now, when I'm mowing a lawn, I have to be real careful and meticulous about which direction I'm going for two main reasons. The first of the reasons is that you can tell which direction you're going because of the way that the grass actually lays after you've cut it. And the direction that you're going will change the look of that strip, okay? And so if I'm going back and forth, it's going to create this textured stripe effect. But if I go all the way around and I go the same direction, then it'll look like it's all perfectly even. And now I don't always go to that level of detail. It just depends on how ADHD I'm feeling at the moment. But the second reason that the direction is important is because I have to consider the shoot for the clippings, because they're going to be flying out at Mach speed these trimmings of the grass clips, and they are probably going to do some real damage up against the house or the fence or whatever. They're basically like shurikens, ninja shurikens that are just launched out of there at incredible speeds. So they're just going to embed themselves into the wood or wherever, and I'll have to look out for that. So I need to know which direction I'm going, because I need to know where those trimmings are going to be shot out. You don't have to worry about that in Lawn Mowing Simulator. And I thought the whole point of a simulator was to worry. I thought this was the meat and potatoes of the game. If I'm playing a simulator, I feel like I need to worry about the same things I worry about in real life. So if I'm mowing a lawn, I need to worry about tree roots. I have to worry about rabbits running around and jumping on top of the lawnmower and turning it off on me. And it's like, guys, stop doing that. I'm trying to get this done. And I don't have very many of the worries that I would have in real life. I have the worries of, like, I don't want to damage the ground because then I get some points off. I don't want to drive over. Sorry, I had a whole lot of Sweet Gherkins pickles earlier. I don't want to drive over any of the flowers because, again, I'll get points off and whatnot. But what do points even mean? What does the money even mean in a game like that? I want to have the same worries that I have in real life. So when I'm mowing the front lawn, I want to make sure that I look super cool. Because if a car drives by and sees a pig on a lawnmower, I don't want them thinking, oh, yeah, whatever, it's a pig on a lawnmower and it's just a normal-looking pig. Why didn't he get dressed up if it's such a special occasion as mowing a lawn? So I'll make sure that I'm wearing sunglasses. I'll make sure I'm wearing a scarf regardless of the temperature. And I also need to have on some type of shoe that really sports my personality. So I'll often go with a cowboy boot that has a 3-inch heel. And I think that just tells people, yeah, this pig knows what he's doing. And this pig is in the mood to really trim down this lawn. And that's something you got to worry about in the real life. But in Lawn Mowing Simulator, you don't have to worry about that at all. I don't think anybody even walks by. Maybe there's some light traffic, but you never get the feeling that they're really looking at you and they're judging you, which everyone in real life is doing at all times. Anytime a human being ever looks at you, they are judging you with all of the energy in their body. And that's just a straight up fact. You talk to Siggy Freud about that, he'll tell you the same thing. Everyone judges all of the time, so you got to be ready for it. And you got to be worried about it. That's why simulators exist, so that you can take those worries from real life and pass them on to your video game time. Because what's the point of playing video games if you're not worried about dumb stuff? So that sort of brings us to the second half of the discussion of, are they realistic enough? Are simulators realistic enough? Are they too realistic? Could they be less realistic? And I think it's nice that they have this designation of simulator in the name, even though not everyone sort of is tied to the same level, the same criteria as the others. But I think there is a what's the word for it? There is an argument. Yeah, I thought it began with a C for some reason. There is an argument to be made that they are not realistic enough because there's so many other elements that you can get caught up in. And I don't think simulators were ever meant to be fun, necessarily. I don't think that's what they were going for. I think they were going for a busy work type of situation. So when I see simulators, I'm not preparing myself to enjoy my time. I'm preparing myself to feel major stress that is induced by idiotic things. So fast food simulator is great because it's sort of a situation where you got a business minimum wage job. Some of these words, they just be escaping me today. It's probably all the Sweet Gherkins pickles I ate earlier. But it's a minimum wage job with maximum requirements and responsibilities, and that's exactly what you would want out of a simulator, any type of simulator. You want the fewest amount of rewards possible, just barely enough rewards to make it seem like they are giving you something at the end of this so that you can keep going. And usually those rewards tie right back in to the actual responsibilities. So you make money? Yeah, well, guess what? Can you spend the money on yourself? No, you're going to use this money to put it back into the business to acquire more produce, more products, more things to sell. You're going to use it to hire somebody else. And that part's pretty cool. You know, in bus simulator, is it bus driving simulator or bus driver or bus simulator? Goodness. I said it earlier and I was like, wait a second. I don't know if that's the right thing. And we all know the Dirt the Gamer community. They are sticklers for making sure the title is correct. And if the title is not correct, they sort of disown me immediately. So apologies. I'm just going to cover all the bases. Bus driver driving simulator 2021. I don't know. In that game, you can hire some assistants and you can tell them what routes to go on. And in Fast Food Simulator, you can hire a busser and a server, and that's pretty nice. A restocker. Eventually, there should be more. It'd be cool if they could help in the kitchen. That'd be really neat. If they could have somebody in the AI actually assembling the burgers, oh, goodness gracious, that would be incredible. Because I'm the type where I do like playing online now and then, but I'm mostly am sticking to my own restaurant where I'm playing solo. And it's just nice. It's just really nice for me because I have my own system. I have my way for doing things. I'm on normal or hard, but depends on the day. And I'm just getting used to things. I'm at level 14, something like that. 17? No, I can't. No, I'm below level 15. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. But in that situation, like I was saying earlier, when you get rewards, it's all going straight back in. And when you do hire somebody, you are benefiting the economy and you feel like, hey, I gave this person a reason to live. Here's a reason to wake up in the morning so that you can take a tray and move it to a different location in the same building and then take that same tray later and throw it into a garbage can and walk away. Pretty sweet. So that's a reason to keep going, huh? And when it comes to the realism aspect of a lot of different things, like turning the oven on and making sure that everything is clean at the end of the night, wiping down counters. You don't have to do that. You don't have to worry about crumbs. You can put burger buns and patties straight onto the surface. You could probably put them on the floor. No, actually you can't. There are some things you can put on the floor like boxes, but you can't put food on the floor. I'm pretty sure. You can't even put trays on the floor. That's kind of crazy. It doesn't let you. It's like, no. That's not where these go. That's not where these go. You know where they go. Put them where they need to go. You know where they need to go. Put them where they need to go. And that's kind of neat. But does that attach itself to the realism aspect? Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. It does not. I wouldn't mind if I could do a little bit of a domino effect with all the burger patties. If I could rotate them and place them so they were vertically and then make a little domino chain effect and knock one over and then and then it falls off the end. And then the big boss comes in and it's like, what are you doing? Get back to work. I'm not going to pay for your insurance anymore. I'm scary because I'm 6'19", and that's that situation. I tell you, the last time I was outside actually standing in a creek had to be 3 years ago or more, probably more. I don't stand in creeks very much. I've seen them. But I think the older I get, the further away from the creek I get. You know? I don't stand in them anymore with my rain boots. I just sort of look at them from a distance. Now, there is a parallel to the amount I appreciate all the different elements of it. It used to be I would appreciate the sound of the creek or the stream, and I would enjoy the jumping into the water. And other than that, that would be sort of the end of it. But now I appreciate the flow and the sound and the water and the rocks and the look of it and the way it reflects the light and all of the different action figures that were thrown in there over the years. And so I guess I don't need to be as close as I used to be, but it's nice to be close. It's nice to hop into the water, even if you don't get wet by it. You're just there. You're amongst it. You are part of the flow. You're part of the way the circle of the life be circling, you know? Time for today's lucky color. Today's lucky color is safety orange. Oh my goodness, an incredible color that is super helpful. It helps save tons of accidents all around the world. The hex code is FF6700. Now, it's definitely different in a lot of different situations, different industries, different countries, but that's a pretty safe bet, no pun intended. Safety orange, a really good color that it just screams, hey, look at me. I'm going to tell you something important about your surroundings, okay? And I like it, and I'm glad I went with it today, because I think I'm feeling lucky, so I'm probably going to see some safety orange. If you see some safety orange, you should also feel lucky, because that's the name of it, the lucky color. Now, remember, everybody, life is just a simulator that you can't pause unless you're in math class. So take that with you for the rest of the month, and enjoy everything that the safety orange color has to do and help you with throughout the times. Sorry, I had a whole lot of Sweet Gherkins pickles earlier. And think about stuff. We don't think about stuff very much. You should start thinking about stuff. Think about more stuff. Okay, bye.